Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
All right, everybody, welcome to Believe in Eagles. A win over the Giants, 38-7, the same score they beat the Vikings on the same date 5 years ago. Eagles are heading to the NFC Championship game. What's up, everybody? Mike Gill with you on Believe in the Eagles. A championship win over the Giants as, look, they rallied basically from Jump Street, a 31-point win over the Giants, largest win in playoff history going back to that Vikings game. It matches that one. They run for 268 yards. They wreak havoc with 5 sacks. They absolutely just dominated at the line of scrimmage. They beat the Giants for the 3rd time this year. They've scored 108 points in the 3 games they played. It wasn't really a fair fight. This team just absolutely, the talent disparity showed out again. They dominated with the 268 yards. Kelsey, Dickerson, Sayamala, they get game balls. 3 rushing touchdowns. Gainwell over 100. Big game for Miles Sanders. Goddard with a big play. I thought set the tone early when he just banged Adoree Jackson. Get off my lawn. Smashes through him. That run there showed early that the Eagles were there to be physical and not messing around. It was a absolutely dominant performance. And listen, we talked about it all week. The talent disparity is just absolutely – the Eagles are a more talented team than the Giants. Like, I got people, my buddy's a Giant fan, texting me, I thought they'd show up. Yeah, I thought they'd show up too, but the Eagles took the heart out of that team right now. They absolutely took the team right off Jump Street and beat them. 14 points they got up early. John Gannon gets a game ball. His defensive game plan. There's a lot of Eagle fans out there who don't like John Gannon. I'm not one of them. I think Gannon's a smart guy. I think the defense has been very good this year. Sat on those slats all game long. I thought a big play in the game was pressure up the middle, interception by Bradbury, and that's like good night sleep art for the Giants. Hurts. Hey, we questioned it all week. We got a glimpse right off the bat early that the Eagles and Jalen Hurts were ready to go. Hurts 2 passing touchdowns in the first 2 drives, both in the first quarter. Running touchdown. He's the second Eagles quarterback to pass for 2, run for 1. Just a dominant performance. And Nick Sirianni said it. He's like having Michael Jordan. Is that what the Eagle fans are experiencing right now? A guy at that level, MVP type of player, that when he's on the field, you're that good? Looked like it on Saturday night. This was the big factor in the game. We talk about the Eagles' offensive line. They're the most dominant unit in the league, in my opinion. They ran the ball 44 times. They got hit behind the line of scrimmage 3 times in the entire game. They averaged 4.3 yards per rush before contact in the game. Think about that. Holes as big as you can see. You and I could run through those things. They averaged 4.3 yards before contact in the game. 3 different Eagles scored a rushing touchdown. Boston Scott. How many times are you going to hit the anytime Boston Scott? Now Sirianni's just handing you free money, right? Sirianni's saying, look, I know they're betting anytime touchdown Boston Scott. But Jalen Hurts got the ball out quick, 2.41 seconds on his throws, quickest of his career. They blitzed Hurts 42% of the time, and maybe they should have done it more. Who knows? When they blitzed Hurts, he was completing 60% of his passes for only 1.8. A lot of dump-offs, stuck to the sidelines on the blitz. They sacked him once. When they didn't blitz him, he completed 71%, almost 10 yards an attempt. He had 2 passing touchdowns. So the blitz, we wondered if Wink Martindale was going to dial up blitzes in this game. Speaking of the blitz, the Eagles don't do it much. The pressure on Daniel Jones with 4, he got harassed, let's say, on 40% of his dropbacks. 14 of 35 dropbacks, they got pressure. 9 of 14 in the first half. The Giants gained yards on just 4 of 14 plays where Jones got pressure on him. The Eagles pressure with 4. Game ball, I gave out on my radio show on Friday to Hassan Reddick. Dude, what can you say about Reddick? He was just unbelievable in the game. So that's a quick breakdown of the game. I thought the Eagles dominated in the interior of the line. I thought Jalen Hurts was excellent. And then the running game was just too much for the Giants to contend with. They didn't have Adoree Jackson and they didn't have Xavier McKinney. It didn't matter because the Eagles didn't really need to throw. And when they did take their shots down the field, they had one-on-one coverage, and Eagles receivers are too talented. Kelsey's ability to pull and get out to the second level, nobody else has that. Eagles showed why they're the number one seed. Who do they want to play? San Francisco or Dallas? Here's two questions. One, can Brock Purdy win an NFC championship game on the road? I don't know. Can he win a divisional game on the road? We'll find out tonight. Two, can the Dallas Cowboys win 3 straight road games? These are the questions of the team coming into Philadelphia. Can Dallas win 3 straight road games in the playoffs, 3 straight playoff road games? Can Brock Purdy lead a team to an NFC championship on the road? Because if he does, you're looking at a story that is starting the arc of a Tom Brady-esque career. I don't know if he's going to win 7 Super Bowls and multiple MVPs, but this is how Brady started, and this is even more obscure because he's the third quarterback, not the backup. 2 guys had to get hurt for this guy to get on the field. And if he got to the Super Bowl under those conditions, you're looking at a better story, starting part of the story, than Tom Brady. Pretty crazy to think. Big plays in the game. Look, if you're asking me, when Dallas plays their best, when they are at their best, are they better than San Francisco? It's really murky because of the quarterback unknown. When Dallas plays their best, are they better than San Francisco? I think if San Francisco plays their A-plus game, it is better than Dallas's A-plus game. And here's my reasoning. Philadelphia went down to Dallas and hosted Dallas and beat them pretty handily. The game looked closer in the end, but Philadelphia was dominating that game. Lane Johnson got hurt. The second time when Gardner Minshew played, the Eagles defense had a rough day, but they went up and down the field on the Cowboy offense. I don't think the Eagles defense plays that poorly the second time around, and I think the Eagles offense continues to score against Dallas's defense. So I think Dallas is definitely the better matchup for me. I don't think they can beat San Francisco, but we'll see. Couple plays of the game I want to highlight. One, the blitz up the middle, that intercepted by Bradbury, I thought really changed the complexion of the game. 2, early in the game, the Goddard catch, and he runs and bangs, as I said earlier, but also the catch down on the 5. He could have gave up, but he completed that run. That kind of set the tone that we are just beating you up. Those are the type of things that championship teams have, where they have that extra drive and desire. Another play in the game is Jalen Hurts early in the game connects that pass down to Devonta Smith. It shows I can air the ball out. And then he follows it up with a couple of runs. And that showed early that he had all the bag of tricks open for business. The Eagles were a dominant team. It shouldn't have been a surprise. They're a better team than the Giants. I will say this about the Giants. They're going in the right direction. They remind me a lot of last year's Eagles. A team that was not all that talented, but got into the playoffs, got a taste of the playoffs, and now know how far away they are. The Eagles found out last year in the playoffs against Tampa Bay how far away they were, and they went out and upgraded those areas. They needed a wide receiver. They needed somebody on the line, defensive line to wreak havoc, Hassan Reddick. They went out and got A.J. Brown. They needed a corner because Steve Nelson was, just a serviceable guy, not a difference maker. James Bradbury's a difference maker. And then they completed that defense with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. When they get Avonte Maddox back, if they do, this is a championship level defense. Not that they aren't without him, but I think getting Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back in that safety spot and Maddox in the slot is going to be necessary against the 49ers or Dallas. They have way more weapons and speed than the Giants do. That's where the Giants need to really focus on this offseason. Getting Daniel Jones a weapon. And I would say the Giants need to improve the interior of their offensive line. You see how, teams go for tackles. They try to find offensive tackles. The Eagles' strength is at tackle and guard and center. The entire line. The Eagles focus on that. It's boring on draft day sometimes. Lane Johnson, a first-round pick. I thought Andre Dillard had a big block in that game as well. when he came in at guard for Landon Dickerson, he had a couple nice seal blocks in that game as well. So Andre Dillard has kind of been an afterthought as a first-round pick, but he is actually becoming a little bit more versatile. That said, Eagles win 38-7 over the Giants. They're going to the NFC Championship game in Philadelphia next Sunday. Check me out on Believe in Eagles all week long. We'll have Colin Thompson, current NFL tight end. I want to get a current player's perspective on what he saw in the game. Colin's a local Philly guy. He's from the South Jersey, Philadelphia area, played at Temple. He's with Carolina now. He was in Giants training camp a couple of years ago, but he's a guy who studies film, really can dissect plays, and I want to get his perspective of the Eagles' dominance up front and the talent disparity. And I also want to get his thoughts on consistency from one week to the next. How much does that carry over, or is that a myth? You know, the whole myth of can't beat a team 3 times. We didn't really bring that up all that much because it's just that, a myth. Teams are now 16-9 when they play a team in the playoffs for the 3rd time than when they won 2 times during the regular season. It was 15-9 entering yesterday. The Eagles win, making it 16-9. Playing a team for the 3rd time after beating them twice generally means you're going to beat them the 3rd time. Why? You're better. The Eagles are better than the Giants. Hey, I don't know how long that's going to last. The Giants team's moving in the right direction. But I know this. The NFC East is about to get really interesting. The Giants are moving in the right direction. The Eagles should be here for a while. Dallas is probably hanging around. And Washington could get better. I think Washington is a quarterback away from being a factor in this division. Do they go out and get Derek Carr? Do they go up the Beltway and get Lamar Jackson? These are some things that we'll be checking in the offseason. But we're on to the NFC Championship game, and I hope you'll join me here on Believe in the Eagles. Like, rate, review, subscribe, share, give me some comments, give me some feedback. Let's make this the best Eagles community, period. This is for the fans. This is for you guys. Let's keep doing it. We'll have great guests right here on Believe, and I will be back during the week with more on Eagles and whoever they play on Believe in Eagles. Have a good one, everybody.
Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.